From chefs who survived near-death experiences to those brought down by public arrests, devastating illnesses, and careers destroyed by a single moment, these are Hell's Kitchen chefs who live terrible lives now. Starting with the first ever Hell's Kitchen winner, Michael Wray, a chef so skilled that even Gordon Ramsay, who's known for being brutally honest, couldn't hide his admiration. So he made him a very generous offer.
Work alongside me to become a top world-class chef.
This was an opportunity of a lifetime, and right there on the spot, Michael said yes. But in a shocking twist, Michael would later change his mind, and he calls it the hardest decision he's ever had to make, one that he regrets all the time. Before appearing on Hell's Kitchen, Michael struggled with addiction. It had started when he had back surgery a few years prior and, after complications, was prescribed opioid painkillers. After Hell's Kitchen ended, Michael walked away with $250,000 and all the restaurant equipment from the show. He used it to open his own restaurant, Tattoo, in Los Angeles, but that's when things took a tragic turn.
We had our kid, we lost our child, and I was not able to bounce back out of that mentally.
After his daughter's death, Michael could barely hold on to anything. His relationship with his ex-wife suffered, and his restaurant wasn't spared either. Not long after, Michael was living out of his truck under an underpass near Hollywood Boulevard. In an interview, he told the BBC, "I was living this dual life where you have this persona of Chef Michael from Hell's Kitchen is going to teach you guys to cut onions today, but then at the same time, I have this raging drug addiction that I'm trying to hide from the world." After years of struggling with addiction, Michael's doctor in New Mexico eventually cut him off from his prescriptions, triggering severe withdrawals. He tried to get into rehab, but they turned him away and told him to go to a hospital instead because his condition was too severe. Desperate to stop the withdrawals, Michael broke into a pharmacy and stole the drugs he thought he needed. He then drove into the desert, hoping to slowly wean himself off. Instead, the isolation pushed him to the brink and forced him to confront how desperately he needed help. In his interview with the BBC, he said, "I didn't want to die, and I needed to get somewhere where someone could see me and help me." Help eventually found Michael, and he woke up in a hospital 48 hours later. That close call made him realize that it was time to get clean, and after spending about 10 days recovering, he checked himself into rehab in June 2012. While he was in rehab, Michael met Charlene, who would become his second wife, and together, they later had a son named Osmo. He even turned himself in to the police for the pharmacy break-in and spent nearly a month in jail, but they let him work in the kitchen, and that chance to cook again helped him start rebuilding his life. After that experience, Michael slowly got back on his feet, returning to the thing he loves most, cooking and being in a professional kitchen. However, unlike Michael, the next chef's fate was the exact opposite until everything fell apart after a single scandal. Sarah Horowitz was a deli manager from Dallas, Texas, who appeared in season 2 of Hell's Kitchen and quickly caught Gordon Ramsay's attention, but not in a good way.
Just what are you doing with the lamb?
I'm learning, Chef.
You're learning?
Yes, Chef.
That is not going anywhere, Missy.
Okay.
Except in the bin.
Yes, Chef.
By the end of the 8th episode, Gordon had finally had enough. When Sarah and another contestant were put up for elimination, he made his decision clear.
Shut the fuck up for 30 seconds.
Chef.
Take off your jacket
Yes, Chef.
and leave Hell's Kitchen.
Despite getting eliminated from Hell's Kitchen, Sarah still managed to build a solid career for herself, even landing a job as Justin Bieber's tour chef. Although that gig is not the same as running a prestigious restaurant as head chef, it's still an amazing opportunity that many chefs would dream of. However, on April 10th, 2013, while Justin Bieber was on his Believe World Tour, Sarah was arrested and charged for allegedly assaulting her boyfriend, Mark Mathis, a TV weatherman. According to reports, the couple had a fight after Sarah dropped a cooler in her boyfriend's car and made a mess, and that fight escalated to the point where Sarah allegedly punched and kicked her boyfriend, breaking his glasses and scratching his face. After her arrest, Mark told police he did not want her prosecuted, and the case did not move forward. Since then, Sarah has largely disappeared from the public eye and is no longer associated with Justin Bieber. She now spends the rest of her cooking career touring restaurants for catering events. Unlike Sarah, this next chef was eliminated through no fault of his own, returned to Hell's Kitchen, and later had his life changed for the worse. Brett first appeared on Hell's Kitchen in season 14, where he impressed Gordon Ramsay enough by stepping up during challenges and dinner services to help his team succeed.
It's rustic, but it's got charm. Delicious. That's
solid 3. Good job.
Thank you, Chef.
But during the 8th episode of the season, Brett's previously diagnosed slip disc flared up badly while he was in the bathroom. The slip disc was pinching his sciatic nerve.
Oh, why this shit happened? Brett.
Leaving him in excruciating pain, and Gordon had no choice but to pull him from the competition.
You've done bloody well, okay? But
I cannot let you continue.
it's severe damage to your back. That's long term. That's not happening.
Fans who could relate applauded Gordon's decision, saying, "I hope that Brett takes good care of himself. Hats off to Gordon for making this decision. He's 100% right." While this would end most chefs' journeys on the show, Brett staged an incredible comeback in season 18, this time with no back problems holding him back. However, life after Hell's Kitchen wasn't as kind to Brett. In 2018, Brett was arrested in Palm Beach County and was charged with trafficking in synthetic products, possession of marijuana of less than 20 grams, and possession of drug equipment. Brett spoke about the arrests, saying that he's a cannabis user and doesn't hide the fact, but he's far from a drug trafficker. Brett was released on his own recognizance, but the amount of cannabis found on him, over a kilogram, upped his charge to a felony. He's known for cooking with cannabis and making THC-infused candies. On the Full Focus podcast, he opened up about how he incorporates it into his culinary creations.
And it grows like parsley and basil, and it being a chef, it makes sense for me to cook it.
Brett now runs his own private chef brand called Chef Brett, where he creates exclusive customized meals for clients willing to pay for his services. It's a living, but a far cry from the fame, security, and legacy Hell's Kitchen once promised him. Much like Brett, this chef stood out for her skill and intensity. She claimed the Hell's Kitchen title, yet despite the win, her life's choices prevented her from turning that moment into a lasting career. Janelle Witt. Janelle Witt appeared in season 11 of Hell's Kitchen, and from her very first signature dish, she proved herself a serious contender for the win. She stayed completely unnominated throughout the entire season, even earning a black jacket that carried her into the final 5 chefs.
Well done.
Go, Janelle! Thank you, Chef.
Eventually, with her talent, she made it into the finals, where she would go on to win the competition. Gordon had nothing but praise for Janelle.
In all my years in Hell's Kitchen, I have never seen a more composed individual than Janelle. And that is why I am so happy to have this ambitious, creative, and talented woman,
and was genuinely excited to offer her the head chef position at his Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, complete with a $250,000 salary. Unfortunately, that dream job never materialized for Janelle. She received the promised $250,000 cash prize, but couldn't accept the head chef role at Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas because the restaurant required a drug test due to their strict policy, and Janelle unfortunately failed it. Even after testing positive, Gordon promised not to turn his back on Janelle and shared that his door would always be open to her. Janelle herself addressed the issue, saying, "Due to personal matters, I will not be joining the team in Las Vegas, but I wish them continued success. This has been an incredible journey. I'm thankful for everyone who made it possible, and I'm looking forward to my next cooking chapter." Janelle never got the chance to prove herself as head chef at Caesar's Palace, but in 2014, she landed an executive chef position at Corner Table in Houston, Texas. That opportunity gave her a fresh start in a professional kitchen. Unfortunately, based on its Yelp page, Corner Table is now permanently closed. Janelle remains in Houston, Texas, and still shares cooking-related updates and event appearances on social media, though far removed from the career trajectory many expected after her win. Janelle won Hell's Kitchen, but never got the future it promised. The next chef lost the competition, won at life, and ruined his legacy due to his temper. Ralph competed in season 1 of Hell's Kitchen, where he delivered exceptional performances and made it all the way to the finale, though he ultimately fell just short of the win.
That was so hard. I'm tired.
However, Ralph took his loss well. After Hell's Kitchen wrapped, he rode the wave of fame from being the season 1 runner-up to build an impressive career as a celebrity chef. He hosted multiple TV cooking shows and established himself as a notable name in the culinary world.
Yeah, put him down. Let's look at it.
I hand harvested all this myself, personally.
He appeared as a challenger against Iron Chef Bobby Flay on Iron Chef America, a year after appearing on Hell's Kitchen.
3, 2, 1.
And in the years that followed, he opened many successful restaurants like the Naked Taco, Naked Lunch, and the Naked Tiki.
Well, throughout his career, Pagano has had a string of restaurants on his roster.
But disaster struck in June 2017 when Ralph was in Bimini, Bahamas, overseeing the opening of a new restaurant as part of his Naked Restaurant empire. While testing the kitchen gas burners ahead of lunch service, the oven suddenly exploded. He suffered second and third degree burns across 40% of his body, including his face, legs, and hands, and was airlifted from the Bahamas to Jackson Memorial's Ryder Trauma Center in Miami.
The world exploded literally inside the kitchen of a new restaurant he was opening in the Bahamas, where he suffered life-threatening injuries.
Where he spent 50 days hospitalized, undergoing multiple surgeries, skin grafts, and extensive rehabilitation. After the horrific accident, Ralph clawed his way back to the top. His Naked Restaurant empire grew to additional locations, and he even launched Shabibi, a new Lebanese restaurant in Boca Raton. But a shocking incident early in 2023 threatened to undo all of Ralph's hard-fought recovery. On October 2nd, 2023, he was arrested at his home and booked into jail over a road rage confrontation from March, where he wielded a baseball bat. He faced one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill and was released after posting bail. Ralph's road rage incident involved a 10-year-old girl. He had swung the bat at the father and then missed and hit the little girl. Since his arrest, Ralph has largely stayed out of the spotlight. Public records detail the resolution of his legal case, and his restaurant operations continue to run. Yet his inspiring story as a celebrity chef who beat the odds after a near-fatal explosion now carries the strain of his troubling arrest. While Ralph ruined his legacy due to his temper, the next chef claimed victory, only to endure a string of personal tragedies shortly after winning. Kimberly Ryan appeared in season 16 of Hell's Kitchen, and she kicked things off strong by scoring a perfect 5 with her signature dish. She carried that winning spirit all the way to the finals, where she claimed victory, securing herself $250,000 plus the head chef position at Gordon Ramsay's Yardbird Southern Table and Bar in Las Vegas. Right after her win, she quickly gained popularity, even launching her own successful catering company. But in 2019, she started making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Reports claim that she was allegedly assaulted by her long-term boyfriend, Jonathan Stoy. After the incident, Kimberly largely retreated from the public eye, but resurfaced later when a GoFundMe page was created on her behalf. The GoFundMe page set up for Kimberly revealed she'd been battling long COVID since March 2020, leading to severe health issues like hypertension, breathing difficulties, tachycardia, blood clots, endless bronchitis, and pneumonia rounds, plus many complications. By 2023, she relied on supplemental oxygen with diagnoses of lung scarring, heart damage, and permanent hand numbness, all worsening her condition to the point she needed heart surgery, which the fundraiser specifically supported. The GoFundMe raised $11,240 out of $15,000, and Kimberly was able to have her heart surgery. However, after surviving heart surgery, she announced on February 24, 2025 that she had been diagnosed with grade 3 metastatic ductal breast cancer, which she's currently battling. On March 22, 2025, she married her fiancé Matt, who became her children's stepfather. On November 29, 2025, Kimberly made a post on Instagram where she hit a gong, revealing that she was done with chemotherapy. She has another GoFundMe going, asking people to support her battle with cancer. So far, she has raised over $12,000. While Kimberly faced ongoing health challenges that derailed her career as a chef and left her life unrecognizable and reliant on a GoFundMe, this next chef thrived professionally after Hell's Kitchen, but his behavior would ultimately make him one of the most controversial and disliked chefs in the show's history. Lewis appeared in Season 8 of Hell's Kitchen
Against Camp Chef Louie. I can't get the lobster out of the shell.
coming from a chef role at a children's camp in Diamond Bar, California. During the signature dish challenge, he failed to impress Gordon Ramsay, and his dish was poorly received right from the start. However, during Italian night service, he manned the grill station, but his very first attempt at salmon came out stone cold. When elimination time came around, Lewis ended up as the blue team's first nominee, and he got sent home for being the worst performer of the night. Despite the initial loss, after Hell's Kitchen, Lewis built a solid career, first stepping up as executive chef at Boulder Creek Brewery. He later worked as a restaurant consultant before taking on chef duties with Bon Appetit Management Company. Eventually, he rose to executive chef at Newport Beach Country Club. However, as of 2020, 2025, his professional status appears as actively looking for work, which stands out for a chef with such a strong track record. The events of December 2024 provide a clear explanation for that shift. According to local crime news, Louis Repucci was arrested on December 5, 2024, facing extremely serious charges. Those include sale or distribution of obscene matter depicting a person under 18, as well as possession of obscene matter portraying sexual sadism or sexual masochism involving a person under 18. As of now, no public updates exist on Louis's conviction, sentencing, or case dismissal. He remains legally presumed innocent and only arrested on suspicion. Still, his name being deeply entangled in major felony charges doesn't erase the fact that his life is in a terrible state right now. Among Hell's Kitchen fans, Louis Repucci's image has flipped dramatically, from the underrated blue team guy to one of the show's biggest villains, tied to some of the darkest allegations imaginable.